Feeling overwhelmed, stuck, or energetically off balance? It might be time to reconnect with yourself. At Mystic Bliss Reiki, we offer heart-centered healing using Usui Holy Fire and Karuna Reiki to help you release stress, clear energetic blockages, and awaken your inner peace. Whether you're seeking personal transformation, looking to heal from past emotional wounds, or curious about your soul's journey through past life regression, Mystic Bliss Reiki is your sacred space for spiritual renewal. We also offer certified Reiki training so you can not only receive healing, but also become a healer. Sessions are available in person or online, so wherever you are, your healing can begin. Are you ready to feel lighter, clearer, and more aligned? Visit mysticblissreiki.com and book your session today. Where energy flows, healing begins.
Hello and welcome to Weirdos in the Wild with our co-hosts, AJ Oxley, paranormal investigator with Beyond This Life Paranormal and multi-generational paranormal enthusiast, and Lynn Tincher, Beyond This Life paranormal investigator, Reiki master, published author, and near-death experiencer. Travel with them, a couple of everyday weirdos on a wild ride to all things paranormal and metaphysical.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Weirdos in the Wild. My name's AJ.
And I'm Lynn.
And Lynn, we're going to talk about, well, something we kind of talked about before because, you know, we both like history a lot. So, we talked about, like, haunted ships that were specifically naval ships.
Right.
Which kind of led us down one of those rabbit holes that we tend to go down into, what, ghost ships.
That's right.
So, I found a lot of, I guess, examples of ghost ships, but I also found that a ghost ship could be a couple different things. I don't know what you found, but what I found was, you know, a ghost ship could truly be something that has a ghost on it, or a ghost ship could just be a ship that's just
abandoned and out floating around.
Floating around, yes. Which I found that, you know, floating around a lot is kind of a strange thing, but I also found there are some very famous ghost ships that probably a lot of people will know as soon as we say the name.
Right, because a lot of them you've heard of, and I'm going to quit rustling papers here, guys, sorry. A lot of them you've heard of. They're in movies. There's some that's mentioned in several movies.
There are. There's one. There's a song. Mm-hmm. Jesse, insert the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald here.
Dawn came late and the breakfast had to wait when the gales of November came slashing. When afternoon came, it was freezing rain in the face of a hurricane west wind.
So why don't we just start? We'll talk about some of these famous ones, and yes, there is one that is a song.
That's right.
Gordon Lightfoot sang about the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. I will not sing it because I don't really have 20 minutes for our number one in our podcast to sing it. It's a very long song, and then it's just kind of a depressing.
It is sad.
Kind of the way he sings, you know. Anyway, but yeah, the Edmund Fitzgerald is there are some famous wrecks in the Great Lakes, and that one is by far the most famous one. The Edmund Fitzgerald was a cargo ship. A Laker, as they like to call them, and it was November 1975, and it went down in Lake Superior. All 29 people on board perished. There's been a lot of talk about what happened to the ship, what had happened, but the one thing is that they say that the mighty lake does not give up her dead.
Yep.
Lake Superior is a very, very cold water lake,
Yes.
which actually prevents the decomposition and the deterioration of the ship as well. So the belief is that the bodies are probably still on the ship, and supposedly they have sent down many subs, and actually have seen some, supposedly, is what I read. Now, there are also the sightings of the ghost ship of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and it is has been seen, and it vanishes off into the lake, into like a fog or a mist, which is we will talk about a lot. As I've seen, it seems like these ghost ships like to appear and disappear out of fogs and mists. And
Which leads kind of into the next episode.
it does. Oh, teaser.
Teaser.
So, there's been reports of the ship coming, vanishing. People see it. They hear screams, which they believe is the crew as it was going down. There's the belief that they hear the bell ringing. The bell has been recovered from the ship. And it actually sits in the Great Lakes Ship Museum today. And a lot of people believe that because of that the Edmund Fitzgerald has been seen off of the coast of Whitefish Point, where the Great Lake Shipwreck Museum is. So, very interesting one about that. And I've got another really cool one, and I'm just going to say it now because we're talking about Great Lake shipwrecks.
Okay.
And I think this was, there's some other ones people are going to know, but this one just was really interesting and kind of cool to me because it's called the Christmas Tree Ship.
I didn't get that one.
So it was actually, the ship is called the Rouse Simmons, and it was a ship that delivered Christmas trees from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan to Chicago at the holiday season at Christmas time. And it went down on November 23rd of 1912. It's kind of the number of people that was on the ship is kind of iffy, not real definite. There was, some people say there was 13 people on board, some say there was 16, some say there was 23 crew and passengers. But all the people on there perished. And it wasn't until 1971 that they actually found the shipwreck. So it had been, over 50 years that it had taken to basically find the shipwreck. And it was found off of Two Rivers, in the city of Two Rivers in Wisconsin. People say they hear the bell ringing. They say they've seen, and the main one is that they've seen a ship that meets the description of what the Ralph Simmons was, sailing on Christmas Eve.
Wow.
The funny part about that is, and I'm going to pop back to the Edmund Fitzgerald in a second. They talk about some of the weird things that have happened to these ships. Before this ship went from Upper Peninsula, Michigan to Chicago, they had a lot of weird things happen before they shoved off. Supposedly, there was 13 people on board.
They don't do that.
Unlucky number. Sailors are very superstitious people.
Yep.
And so, bad luck. Supposedly, the crew saw rats leaving the ship. I found out that in sailing, in maritime, if you see rats leaving the ship, that is a bad sign.
Right.
the rats live in the small quarters where they can jam in, which is also the first thing where leaks show up in a boat. The rats knew, the rats got off.
That's right.
And supposedly the co-captain, co-owner of the ship just had a horrible feeling about this voyage and almost didn't go. So, and there's also a very, very interesting story that goes along with this, that the captain's widow, if you go to her grave, you will smell pine. Just like the Christmas trees. And there are people that also believe that the Edmund Fitzgerald was cursed from the beginning. Just jump back to that one. It took, and I forget the lady's name, one of the owners or captain of the ship, took her 3 times to break the ceremonial bottle of champagne on the bow of the ship. And,
the christening.
Yes, and so that was considered a bad omen. When they took it out of dry dock, it would, it's on its what do you want to call it? How they
The lift or whatever.
Whatever it is,
it
wouldn't come off. It wouldn't come out of its mooring. There, and it wouldn't come off. And then supposedly when it did, it came down so fast it caused a huge wave that went across to the other side and swept and got a bunch of people over there. There's also a story that somebody was so shocked that how the wave came that they died because of it. I don't know. That seems a little bit far-fetched to me, but it was what was reported. But, so were both of these ships or both of these voyages kind of cursed?
Could be.
I don't know.
They had some bad juju.
They did start out bad.
Yep.
I bet I know which one you got.
Well, I got a few.
Okay.
So, one of them, one of the most famous ones I'll save to later, but I have the Mary Celeste.
I had that one. Yes, tell us about that one, though. That one is a very famous one.
Yes, it was on November 7th, 1872. The captain, his wife, 2-year-old daughter, and 7 crewmen set out from New York to Italy. A month later, they were supposed to arrive, but the British ship De Gracia caught sight of the American boat drifting in the Atlantic. The crew boarded the Mary Celeste and offered to help, but found it was completely empty. Except there was 6 months worth of food, and all the crew's belongings were still there, but the lifeboat was gone. They said the ship's floor was covered in 3 feet of water, but that was far from being flooded or considered beyond repair. But this became one of the most famous ghost ships, largely due to the fact that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle used the boat as inspiration for his short story, J. Habakkuk Jeffson's Statement. And they don't know what caused everyone to disappear. They think it could have been pirates to mutiny to murder. I would think if it was pirates that the belongings or the food would have been stolen. Mutiny, maybe. But murder, I don't know. They might have murdered somebody and then took off.
I don't know. From what I read, it just sounded like there was this, everything was there as if 1 minute they were there and the next minute they were gone.
Just completely disappeared. Did they go through the Bermuda Triangle? That's another episode.
That is another episode.
Sorry, I'm skipping ahead to the next ship.
Go ahead.
All right, so we have the Carroll A. Deering cargo ship. It was a 10-man crew. They successfully made it to Rio de Janeiro in 1920. Despite the need to change captains when its original one fell ill. But something strange happened to them on the way back to Virginia that turned this boat into, one of the most famous ghost ships there are. A lighthouse keeper in North Carolina said a crewman who didn't seem very officer-like reported the ship had lost its anchors while the rest of the crew was milling about. Another ship spotted the Carroll A. Deering near the Outer Banks the next day and in an area that would have been a strange course for a ship on its way back to Norfolk, Virginia. And then the following day, a shipwreck was spotted, but Dangerous weather conditions kept investigators away for 4 days, and when they went aboard, they found the food was laid out as if the crew was getting ready for a meal, but their personal belongings and lifeboats was gone. They followed leads on pirates, mutinies, and more, but they all came up, they couldn't figure out what happened.
Yeah, I found that one too. I found that one was interesting because they said when they boarded, the logs and the navigation equipment were gone. But like you said, everything else was just kind of laid out again, like they were there 1 minute and gone the next. And I even said that, saw that they found a lot of their personal items. So it's like whatever happened, they didn't collect some of their personal items before they left. And they said that the FBI even investigated this one.
Really?
And it was never found. And they still say that to this day that ship is reported being seen again along the coast. Fog, mist.
Spooky.
It is spooky.
Well, being out in the middle of the water is spooky on its own, especially when you have no land in sight. So, there's that element of eeriness that leads to some of this. And then, you think about seeing the mirages and things that, you could see a giant ship just over the horizon and it looks really small and you could misinterpret that, or, it's just over the curvature and you're not seeing all of it. It might look like a little pirate ship or something. So I could see some of that being that, but not always.
Yeah, there's some very, very strange things that happen. And there are strange things in the ocean as well as that happen on the ocean. So.
Yep.
The SS Aranga Medor, and in 1947 it was found drifting. It was a Dutch cargo ship, and it was then boarded. When it was found adrift, and all the crew were found dead on board still, and the people that boarded it said their faces were in agony, their eyes were wide open, their arms were frozen like in a mid-motion. There was a final Morse code message from the ship's communications officer, and the message was the captains and officers dead, and crew and radio operators were dying, and then the last thing was I'm dead.
Wow. Huh. I wonder what he was talking about.
I don't know but they say that then it was basically it was sunk.
Yeah.
On purpose. The authorities sunk it on purpose, and supposedly it's somewhere outside of Manila Harbor in the Philippines is where this happened.
That would have been that sounds like a
almost
sci-fi
like a
movie.
poisoning or
yeah,
something like that happened, which is very, very strange. But yeah. I know which ones you guys are going to say that one to the last. Did you find one called the Aim High 6?
I did.
Okay.
Welcome back to Weirdos in the Wild. Before we return to our program, AJ and I would like to take a moment to remember my brother John Tincher, co-founder of Beyond This Life Paranormal, and Alan Oxley, AJ's father. Both passed away just before we recorded our first episode. Each and every episode going forward, from this one on, will be in remembrance of them. Thank you.
Looking for your next favorite book? Or maybe your next ghost story? From the Ground Up Books isn't just a bookstore, it's an experience. With 2 unique locations in LaGrange and Shepherdsville, we're proud to be a local hub for readers, writers, and lovers of the unusual. Our LaGrange store is tucked inside the historic Ballard House, built in 1840, and yes, it's haunted. Join us for book signings, author events, and ghost hunts through this legendary Kentucky landmark. Or stop by our Shepherdsville store, nestled along the Bourbon Trail, for small town charm, indie reads,
and a few spirited surprises of its own. So if you love books, community, and just the right amount of weird, come visit us in person or explore online at FromTheGroundUpBooks.com. From the Ground Up Books. Read local, feel the history, keep it weird, y'all.
Feeling overwhelmed, stuck, or energetically off balance? It might be time to reconnect with yourself. At Mystic Bliss Reiki, we offer heart-centered healing using Usue Holy Fire and Karuna Reiki to help you release stress, clear energetic blockages, and awaken your inner peace. Whether you're seeking personal transformation, looking to heal from past emotional wounds, or curious about your soul's journey through past life regression, Mystic Bliss Reiki is your sacred space for spiritual renewal. We also offer certified Reiki training so you can not only receive healing, but also become a healer. Sessions are available in person or online, so wherever you are, your healing can begin. Are you ready to feel lighter, clearer, and more aligned? Visit mysticblissreiki.com and book your session today. Where energy flows, healing begins.
Taiwanese fishing boat, and it was drifting off of Australia near the Great Barrier Reef. And this was fairly, this was in 2003. This wasn't that long ago. And when they came upon it, drifting on its own, the report is the engine was still running.
Full throttle. Yep.
There was hot coffee on still, and there was food in the galley again, and everybody was gone.
Yep.
No distress calls. There was no evidence of any wrongdoing, and the lifeboats were still with the ship or with the fishing vessel.
There was also 10 tons of bonito tuna that was still kept cold.
Yeah.
That's a lot of tuna.
Yeah, and if you know anything about fish, that's a lot of money in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money in Taiwan, in the Far East. I mean, that is a lot of money. And it was, again, it's just like, boom, the whole crew, everybody just disappeared out of nowhere.
Well, they say that one of the fishermen showed up and was arrested, that he confessed that the crew had worked with pirates to kill the captain and the main engineer, but he didn't have a motive.
Huh.
So.
But that still doesn't even make any sense. Why
No.
wouldn't it? What the pirates would have wanted
Was the tuna.
exactly?
Yeah.
And you just leave the boat running?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Unless they just had some vendetta against
I
the
don't
captain. I don't know. So I don't know if it's just one of those instances where somebody claims credit where they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But anywho,
All right, you got some more?
I got one, but I don't know how to say it.
Okay.
It's the JIAN SENG. Yaiseng? Sing? I don't know.
I don't know.
They say this one's so mysterious that it barely even has a backstory, but it's a little more recent than some of this.
Okay.
It was in 2006. The Australian Coast Watch found an abandoned ship floating in the sea. It had a broken tow rope, suggesting it was under tow, but broke free. The name Jian Sing was printed on the side, but that was about all that they had to go on. There was nothing else to identify it, no records of distress, signals, or SOS calls. No identifying documents or belongings or reports of a missing boat. They couldn't even figure out who it belonged to or where it came from. But they think it possibly supplied food and fuel to fishing boats. But, they said that didn't explain why no one tried to save it because it broke free. Or, when it broke free. So, that was just a little one, but...
Okay. I thought I had something broken free, but I'm looking at my notes here. So, anyway, I got one here that was from 2007 called the Cats 2, and they call that the Ghost Yacht.
Mm-hmm.
Did you come across that
I
one?
got that one.
Okay.
Yep.
And It was in Australia again, off the Barrier Reef. And the funny part about this one was, again, everything was in perfect order.
Mm-hmm.
Food, the engine was running. They found a laptop on.
Half-empty coffee cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And supposedly they even saw footage from the vessel.
Mm-hmm.
Three of the crew members just going about their everyday work on the boat,
Mm-hmm.
and then gone. Everybody's gone again.
Yeah. There was one theory, though, that one of the sailors had fallen off and the other two drowned trying to save him.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have any evidence of that.
Yeah, and they also said that I read that and they said, but it was reported that the seas were calm that day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Strange.
You
Very
still
strange.
slip and fall, I guess.
You could.
I could.
Well, I could too, but
But I also found the Nina.
the Nina,
Uh-huh.
the Santa Maria Nina.
Just this
Okay.
one's a yacht.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think,
You don't think it was Chris's?
I don't think so. Anyway, they had some information where the crew reached out to meteorologists with concerns about dangerous weather conditions, and this was in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And then they stopped responding. They said there was 70 miles per hour wind and 26-foot high waves. It seemed obvious that the boat had met its match, but it never made it through the storm. A fruitless search effort they had a fruitless search effort anyway, except for that mysterious message. And then 3 weeks after anyone had heard from the crew, an undelivered text reached one of the meteorologists. "Thanks. Storm sails shredded last night, now bare poles," it read, noting that the boat was still on the move. The family of a 19-year-old girl on the boat took that message as a sign that she was alive. Their search turned up satellite photos that they thought might be the missing Nina, though they're saying it was just a large wave. To date, the story says that it's still one of the strangest unsolved mysteries, because evidently there was no proof of the storm. So, who knows? It could have been like a little quake, tsunami type situation. Because I'm sure when water moves like that, it probably creates some wind. I don't know. So, no one knows what happened to those folks, for sure.
They're all weird. Did you find one about the Bacino? The Bacino?
No.
Okay, well, it's an Arctic cargo ship, and it got stuck off of the coast of Alaska in 1931 in ice. The crew was afraid that the ship was going to sink, so they evacuated it. Well, it didn't sink, and it broke free from the ice. And over the next 3 decades, it was spotted regularly drifting in the icy seas off of Alaska. Reported several times. There was a time where it was tried to be boarded. It was tried to be towed, and each time, again, it was like the ship would not allow that to happen, and it would drift off again. It would allow someone. The teams could not board it. The teams could not put it in tow. There was reports that sometimes when it was spotted, there was actually lights on inside the ship. It became known to Alaskans that it was just a cursed ship and that nobody should go around it. But the last time it was actually spotted was in 1969.
Wow.
So it's kind of crazy that this ship was actually truly just floating for 30 years.
Yeah. And where was it?
Alaska.
Alaska. So it was on the Pacific side. So it could still be out there in the
who knows?
Pacific.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. The Lyubou Orlova, the Soviet cruise ship. Did you find that?
No, I didn't.
I'm going to say Lyubou I don't know.
I'm glad you found that one.
Yeah. It's built in the 70s as a cruise ship for the Soviet Union. It was abandoned in Newfoundland in 2010. Basically just sat there at a dock. It broke loose during a tow, and for weeks it was missing. It just floated off again. And the funny part about this is that it's rumored to have been, why they were towing it away, it was rumored to be full of rats that were carrying diseases. So basically they were going to get rid of it. It broke free. It was seen multiple times again. One of these ones that truly was just floating. It was seen multiple times in the Atlantic. And as far as anybody knows, it still may be adrift in the Atlantic. And that was in 2010.
Wow. Did you find the mummy ghost ship?
I did not.
Yeah. And they're not talking about mummies from Egypt.
Okay.
This was there on this. It was on an abandoned yacht in 2016. A Filipino fisherman found the yacht and got on board to check on things, make sure everything was okay. And they found a German sailor, Manfred Fritz Baharat. He'd been sailing around the world for about 20 years. He was last seen in 2009, although a friend said he'd heard from him on Facebook in 2015. So they couldn't find any evidence of foul play, so a year would seem like enough time for the warm, salty air to mummify the body. However, when they did an autopsy, it revealed that he'd only been dead for about a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that one had a mystery within a mystery. So what happened to him, and, why did he get all mummified? That was my other thing. I had a couple others, but it's all, kind of the same.
Yeah.
Same things, other than...
Well, I'm sure there's this one famous one we've danced around.
Yes. It's 2 words. Or 3 if you use the.
Tell us about it.
The Flying Dutchman.
The Flying Dutchman.
That one's definitely the most famous ghost ship. That one's in the movies a lot. It's in Pirates of the Caribbean. They talk about it. It's one that's based more on fiction than fact, they think. But it was a 17th century spectral ship captained by a Dutchman. According to the myth, it was in the service of the East India Company, and seafarers claimed to spot it several times off the Cape of Good Hope. But what really set it apart was the captain. The Dutchman was able to defy weather conditions, sail abnormally fast across the ocean. Some believe that the boat or the captain was in cahoots with the devil and that he bartered his soul for safe passage. They even think he might have been cursed by God or doomed to sail forever. They say that the English sailors in the early 1800s could have invented the tale. The Dutch were not spoken well of, as history kind of proves. So they think they might have made it up about this Dutch captain, but it does have some basis in real life. And it made frequent trips from the Netherlands to Indonesia at a much faster speed than the other sailors. Of course, everybody says they see it out on the ocean still today, and a little bit like what I was talking about. They thought it could have been a mirage or some type of optical illusion. But, who knows?
Yeah, I found a couple of interesting quotes about it. So I guess you said the captain was cursed. Mm-hmm. And I guess there is a lot of stories about the captain of this ship. And they believe that it was a cursed... a lot of people believe, of course, that it is a cursed ship because, they still see it today. And one of the stories is he defied a supernatural warning to turn around during a storm. But it's also known that this ship would fly through, go through these storms or sail through these storms. His response was, "I will make it around the Cape of Good Hope if it takes me to Judgment Day." So maybe he cursed himself to continue to do this.
Forevermore.
They've said that this has been seen from South Africa to Australia. A lot of people report it around a storm, around a time of a storm. And in 1881, the British Navy actually logged an encounter with it.
Wow.
And one of the sailors that was on that ship was a young officer who eventually was King George V, as he was doing his, as it's still like today, where the royal family does their time in the military. And King George V swears he saw the Flying Dutchman.
I wonder what the identifying things are.
If I read a lot of different things. I think it's and if I'm thinking of the right one, we've all seen the Black Pearl, right? We've all seen the Black Pearl on
Black sails, yeah.
The black sails, the ripped sails, the ghostly looking ship with a glow. That is the way I read several people describe the Flying Dutchman. So I would say that the Black Pearl in the Pirates of the Caribbean was definitely
modeled after that. Yeah,
for sure, for sure. So, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I like Pirates of the Caribbean.
I do too. It's one of my favorites. I quote it a lot.
But yeah, so there's very interesting things here. We got to go down another rabbit hole. It's kind of some history stuff that we like to do on occasion. So, but yeah, and let me tell you guys this. Things sound a little bit different today. We're coming to you from a new location.
From our new Shepherdsville store from the Ground Up Books.
So,
which is our home.
Yes, this will be our new home, Lynn's new bookstore. And
we'll be in a better room next time. We got a little construction going on, so.
She's still trying to get a little settled here, but that's okay. But it's a great location. If you're near Shepherdsville, please go check it out. It's great.
Thank you.
So
it's also the home of the radio station.
It is, but we do have some other people, including the radio station, I think. So
yes, we definitely want to thank Missy Steyer with Mystic Bliss Reiki, as well as From the Ground Up Books and Crossroads LaGrange streaming radio with their show with host Chris McGill and Jamie Best that's called Dimensions Radio, which is a show very similar to ours. So go give them a listen. You can listen to past episodes too. And then the radio station that we have here, I'm going to do a little call out, our sister station to Crossroads LaGrange, which is in the same building and the same studio that we're using for the podcast, and that is called Salt River Current. And you can stream that as well at saltrivercurrent.net. And
you can hear this show on Salt River Current as well.
On Wednesday nights at 7-ish.
What you called it, Weird Wednesdays?
Weird Wednesdays.
That's right. We love it when we can expand our weirdness.
That's right. We spread it like joy.
I don't know about that. And I think that's all we've got, isn't it?
I think so.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Lynn teased our next episode, so...
Yeah. So be thinking about the mists.
Think about the mists.
And what that can mean.
What it could mean.
All right.
And then you'll hear us in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Or a few minutes, I should say.
A couple weeks, anyway.
We're taping, too. We just gave you a little hint into what we do. We tape a couple of times. All right, Lynn, take us home.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone, and keep it weird, y'all.
Thank you for joining us at Weirdos in the Wild. Please show us some love and support on our Patreon account at Weirdos in the Wild. Like us on all of our social media. And if you've had an experience you'd like to share with us, visit our site at weirdosinthewild.com. Until next time, keep it weird, y'all.